everyone, it's Hayes, and I am too traumatised to do the introduction properly. I will never be the same again. I have not had one single coherent thought since the Ephemeral trailer released, which is really bad considering I do have a PhD to do and I do have a deadline coming up, so I kind of sort of need to do some work, but this is literally the only thing I can think about right now. No thoughts but ephemeral. Like I'm dead. I feel sick all the time. I can't sleep. Sleep is a thing of the past. Like, do you feel the same? Just no sleep. I actually went to get my hair done yesterday, you know, to relax, hence why it looks better than normal. They cut it a bit, they curled it a bit. It smells great. So I went to relax, and you know, when I walk into the salon, the receptionist says hi, I say hi, she says how are you, I say traumatised, and you? Now, if you've ever been to the UK, and I'm sure other countries with their cultures do this as well, but generally when someone asks how are you, you always say I'm fine. Even if your entire family has just been murdered, you always say fine. You never actually tell anyone how it's going, even if it's not fine. Even if you are full on ugly crying, you always say I'm fine. So this receptionist, she was pretty weirded out by this. So the first thing she did, which is again another British thing, she offered me a cup of tea. Now I don't really like tea, not the normal English tea. I'll have like fruit teas or whatever, but like when you go to a British person's house and they say do you want a cup of tea, they usually mean like an English breakfast tea, and I despise English breakfast tea. It's just hot water with a splash of milk in it. Why anyone finds that fun to drink, I don't know. But by this point I'd already rocked the boat enough by telling her I was traumatised, so I just said yeah, sure, why not. And then at this point they brought my hairdresser over to check on me because I actually went to school with my hairdresser. I wouldn't say we're friends, but you know, I know her, she knows me more than general strangers do, and I only see her every couple of months to get my hair done. So she came over, she asked me what was wrong, and at this point she didn't actually know what I did for a living, so I had to explain to her what my job was, and she'd never heard of Miraculous, so I then spent 10 whole minutes out of our appointment. She hadn't even touched my hair yet. Spent 10 whole minutes explaining to her the entire plot of Miraculous Ladybug. Thank God there was no one else in the salon. It was a quiet day because everyone else is at work because my job doesn't require me to go anywhere usually. So she just stared at me and she said, Hazel, is this for children? Because you know we went to school to each other, she knows my kind of interests. I said yes, and then she just commenced to cut my hair and didn't really say much else to me for the rest of the appointment. So that's how I'm dealing with it. How are you all dealing with it? Like, I'm not kidding. Like, when I'm saying traumatised, I'm not using that word lightly. I am traumatised. I haven't even seen the episode yet. And I'm already fairly certain, like I think we've all seen like those tweets, and I think people have made videos about it as well. I was going to, I didn't really see the point because it was just more of like a one-line thing they said about it being a what if episode. I'm pretty sure, and I'm going to get in and discuss some theories in a minute, that will traumatise everybody. I really traumatised myself when I wrote this out last night. But I'm pretty sure that whatever happens in this episode isn't going to have any lasting consequences. Hopefully. But yeah, honestly my mental state has just been destroyed. This is all I can think about, and I won't be able to do any PhD work until I get this out there. So I'm doing this morning, so hopefully I can actually do some other work this afternoon, because brain is just full of ephemeral, and I didn't even know that word existed until 2 weeks ago. So yeah, let's talk about some theories. So in the video I made on the trailer, I said that Daddy Agrest was using a space power-up, and before we go any further into that, the video at the minute, on productions, like I said, they hate me. Even though that video is clearly fair use and I just took a load of screenshots, they said I re-uploaded the trailer. Quite clearly, on productions needs to join Adrian for that eye test and hearing test, because I don't understand. Like, it was like triple the length of the trailer. I only took screenshots. I did a full-on voiceover. I linked to their video in the description box, and I said within 15 seconds of the video to go and watch it. Like, it's down below, go and watch the original before you come back and watch my... I don't get it. Other people re-upload the entire trailer and nothing happens. And I think they just hate me because I'm British and they're French. If you don't know, French people don't really like British people. Don't know why, to be honest. I have absolutely zero idea why they don't like us. But at this point I'm like, I think that could be true. Anyway, so I said Daddy Agrest had the space power up. And I think at the time I said that because, first of all, I have bad eyesight, and to me, because he's in the background, it is kind of hard to tell. To me that looked like the space power up with the colours. And I was also like, he can't be wearing 3 Miraculouses, because to me that was quite clearly, he had blue on his chest and purple on his chest. Peacock and Butterfly Miraculous. So I was like, it has to be the space power up. Marinette has only ever been able to wear 2 Miraculouses at once. I'm not counting Kwame Buster, like she put them all on just for the Kwame. She didn't actually transform into all of them at once. She only ever did 2 at a time. Obviously though, I've come to the realisation, Daddy Agrest, as we know, because he's an adult, he can hold his power for longer, so I guess it also stands to reason he's an adult, he has the extra power. I don't know. He could also probably wear 3 Miraculouses at once, which is really cool. But secondly, and also my defence, I also didn't want it to be true, so I was like, please say it's the space power up. Please. And it's not. You probably all saw the leaked concept art for Gabriel with the cat Miraculous yesterday. I'm not going to show it because Zach doesn't want us to show it. They are really bad at keeping secrets. Who keeps leaking everything anyway? Obviously that proved that without a shadow of a doubt, because there was one concept art of Gabriel with just the cat Miraculous and also one of him with cat, peacock and butterfly all together unified, so obviously confirmed. Yep. I'm gonna cry. I am also not ready for the untold trauma that's gonna come with having to hear Gabriel say, "Plague, claws out." It was weird enough when Marinette said it in Reflector. Not traumatising, just a bit weird because I'm used to Adrian saying it. But having to hear him say it? I don't know what that's going to do to my psyche, to be honest. That is a cursed phrase said in Gabriel's voice. I think I'm glad that the French dub of this is coming out first, because I don't know if everyone has their own favourite dub. I'd say French dub is probably my second favourite dub, but because English is my first language, I'm like, yes, the English dub. I connect so much more emotionally to the language I grew up speaking. I think most people probably do. Having to hear that in English will kill me, because I think in the French they just say transform me, they just say transforme-moi. They don't have the phrases. It's going to end me. I'm going to be on the floor crying. If you don't get a commentary video the same day for Ephemeral, that's why, because tears. So many tears. So we know for definite that Gabriel gets the cat Miraculous, fine. So that brings up the next question. Where is Adrian? Because I can't decide if Ephemeral is male or female. I'm pretty certain that whoever it is, they are one of the teenagers in the show. So a lot of people were saying it's Natalie, but the Ephemeral figure, in my opinion, is quite a bit smaller than Gabriel. Natalie is roughly the same height as Gabriel. All the adults are roughly the same height as each other, with I think probably the exception of Sabine, who's quite small, and Roland is kind of tiny as well. I don't think it's either of them, and it's definitely not one of the younger kids like Chris, Manon, Ella and Etta. It's definitely not one of them. They're taller than them. It's definitely one of the teenagers, and I definitely don't think it's older Alex from the future, because again she's quite a bit taller than Adrian and Marinette, as we saw in Time Tagger, and also Alex as well, current Alex. So it's definitely one of the current teenagers, but I can't decide if it's male or female. When they released the first silhouette, I was like, that's definitely male. But now when I've seen them stood next to Gabriel, I'm like, female? I can't decide. I'm not sure who it is, but I think it could be Adrian. I think we're all thinking that it could be Adrian. And I guess he's working with whatever Shadow Daddy is going to call himself at this point. I think it's like Shadow Noir, I think he's meant to be called. Like, this man has no imagination. Shadow Noir. Black Shadow. Wow, 10 out of 10 points for that. So why has Adrian betrayed Ladybug? And the only answer I could think to this question would be his mum. We know Adrian would be strong enough to resist an akumatization as he tries to do in Cat Blanc. So I would assume the only reason he would betray Ladybug, because he is in love with her, we heard in episode 19, he's still in love with her, the only reason he would betray her, feasibly I think, would be for his mum. I don't think he'd just do it for his dad if his dad just asked, because they don't have a great relationship, as we saw in Glaciated. Adrian is 110% done with his dad. He was great in that episode, but he's just done with his dad, he doesn't care anymore. So I think his mum is the only feasible reason he would betray Ladybug. And Adrian, just because of the kind of person he is, I'm of the opinion that, you know, I mean, I feel like most people would also experience the same thing. I think I'd be in the same boat as Adrian. That if I'd just found a family member who I thought was missing or actually dead, because they're meant to have had a funeral for Emily. If you don't know, in Emily's wiki it says in the extra notes that Thomas Astruc has actually said, yeah, they actually had a funeral for Emily. So Adrian does kind of believe her to be dead. If you found your supposedly dead or missing family member in your dad's secret murder basement in like this life-preserving coffin, I'm not really sure what it is to be honest, the thing she's in, I couldn't not tell someone. I would have no choice. Like if I found, for example, my grandma, who is dead and I did go to her funeral, if I found her in the attic, I would have no choice but to go up to my mum and say, hey, guess what I just found? But probably crying at the same time, you know what I mean? Like, Adrian wouldn't be able to hold that in just because of the kind of person he is. He would have to say something to either his dad or to Natalie at the very least. There is no way he would keep that a secret. No feasible way. Adrian aggressed. Maybe other people would in the show. Adrian wouldn't. Just my opinion, I really don't think he would. So I would assume he would say something to his dad and then his dad would be like, oh yeah, I'm Hawk Daddy. Not that he would say, hey yeah, I'm Hawk Daddy. Of course, Gabriel doesn't actually address himself as Daddy, and I think at that point he would tell Adrian what he's been trying to do and convince him to work with him, or at that point Adrian's so upset and Gabriel akumatizes him, and because he is so upset, he doesn't have like the mental strength to stop it from happening. However, akumatizing him didn't really work that well in Cat Blanc. He ended up killing his dad and Ladybug, so I'm not sure what he's going to say this time to get Adrian on his side exactly, but Emily is the only feasible reason I could ever see for him betraying Ladybug. Like, he loves her. I just don't see there being any other reason why he would do it. However, if Ephemeral really isn't Adrian and it's Felix or Lila or Alex or Alia, I don't think it's Alia actually, whoever it is, if it's not Adrian, then where is he? Is he okay? Do I need to call the police? Do I need to go and pick him up? I'm being serious. If Adrian isn't Ephemeral, and I don't want him to be Ephemeral to be honest, if Adrian isn't Ephemeral, then what's happened to him? Because his dad has got the ring. So where is he? I'm worried. Like, deeply. Where is he? If Adrian isn't Ephemeral, then where is Adrian? The whole trailer does point to Daddy Agreste winning, but we've got 4 episodes after this one, so to me that kind of signals he doesn't win. If this was the finale, I think we could be up for a bit of a different debate here, but it's not. We've got 4 episodes left, and I think Bunnix or the Rabbit Miraculous will come in here. So again, like I already said, this is meant to be a what if episode. I don't think there's going to be any way we're not doing some time travel in this episode. That's what I'm going to be going into the episode expecting, and I think a lot of you are already. Especially because we see that Gabriel finds out who Ladybug is. So I would assume he knows who Adrian is, and now he finds out who Marinette is. So that would mean Marinette has failed, and it means Suhan will take the miracle box off her, and she'll no longer be Guardian. However, we know in the finale she's still Ladybug from the synopsis, and that she still remembers everything. That's what it seems like anyway from that synopsis. So by the finale, she's presumably still Guardian and still Ladybug since she remembers everything. She remembers she's still in love with Adrian and that she needs to save Paris from Shadow Moth. So to me that signals, hey, some time travel's happened, we need to rewind time. Is that cheating a bit? Yes, 100%, but I guess I just don't understand, like, if Shadow Daddy finds out who she is, like, she has no other choice than to rewind time. And I hope they don't go back much when they do it, just back like a bit, just up till the point where she was about to lose so they can bring it back so she wins. I hope they don't go back loads. There doesn't really seem to be any other way around this. If this isn't meant to happen, future Bunnix will come, but if this is a situation that Marinette is meant to resolve, I don't think future Bunnix will be there. Let me explain. So even though Marinette will detransform, it's not clear if in the trailer that he gets her miraculous, and even if he does get her miraculous, he won't have access to the miracle box. It seems in order to have direct access to the miracle box from the yo-yo, you have to be the guardian. Alia and Haxan didn't have that ability, not that she tried, but she didn't have the ability. And there is the example of Star Train when Marinette had the glasses in her yo-yo, but that was a different situation where Master Fu gave her the Horse Miraculous, the glasses, in case she needed to come back to Paris for an Akuma attack, and she put it in her yo-yo ready as like a handbag, essentially. So even if Gabriel does use a Ladybug Miraculous, he won't have any access to the Miracle Box, so I guess Marinette would have to get home as quickly as possible, get the Rabbit Miraculous, and go to Alex's, although I'm not sure where Alex lives, don't know how far away it is from Marinette's, but there would be some time constraints on this. I'm not sure if Marinette could get there before Gabriel gets to her house to get the miracle box. I'm assuming he knows where Marinette lives. Adrian's been there before in Gamer and some other episodes. I'm assuming he wouldn't let Adrian go around to her house if he didn't know where he lived. Plus as well, she lives right next to the school. He definitely knows where the school is. So I'm not sure she'll have enough time. I'm not even sure what Ephemeral's power is. I'm not sure if they would be able to stop Marinette. I don't understand the power. So I think at that point we could maybe see Marinette using the Rabbit Miraculous herself, transforming into Marinette's version of Bunnix and rewinding time herself. Now, like I said, I don't think she'll go back by much, just enough so she can win and keep her identity a secret. But if she does it herself, she will remember what happened, including probably who Cat Noir is. So I definitely think in this episode we're gonna get a one-sided reveal with Marinette finding out who Adrian is, which I don't hate the idea of, to be honest, because we all know what happens when Adrian finds out who Marinette is. We get Cat Blanc. So this way we haven't seen what happens when she works out who Cat Noir is. We only know the other way, so right now we're not sure what would happen. However, by Marinette rewinding time herself, that would inevitably give her a lot more trauma in addition to everything that's happened so far. So maybe in that case she does ask Alex to do it for her instead. However, if Marinette is the one to use the Rabbit Miraculous, she will remember what happened, and with the remaining 4 episodes, in my opinion, that's enough time for her to start falling for Adrian and his Cat Noir side properly. And then obviously after this point we've got 4 episodes leading up to, well, including the finale as well, 4 episodes left, and in my opinion that's enough time for her to start falling for him. So by the time we actually get to the finale and he's meant to be leaving with Lila, Marinette can then go confess her feelings to him to make him stop, and also reveal that she is Ladybug to him. Although she still needs to tell him that she told someone else her identity. I really thought that was going to happen in this episode and there was going to be a huge argument. Like, I know she did kind of sort of tell him in Haxan, but the ambassadors confirmed that he wasn't paying attention and didn't even realise she said that. So she still needs to tell him. He still doesn't actually know. And in addition to that, if it happens this way with the time travel, the plot of the episode also matches the name of the Akuma of lasting for a short period of time. So they know each other's identities, like everyone involved. They know it for a short period of time. I know the episode title only usually refers to the Akuma or the Sentimonster name. However, oftentimes it does refer to other things going on in the episode. For example, episode 7, the Season Soul Crusher. Whilst it was obviously the name of Zoe's Akuma villain in that episode, and it was very literal that she was crushing people with her feet, it was like a couple of layers to it in that Chloe was insulting her shoes, and then again Chloe was trying to crush Zoe's soul with the way she was talking to her, so it kind of had a double meaning, you know? And again, reflecting the episode titles, we kind of get to see Daddy Agrest win, which I've always really wanted to see. I want to see what happens, like with everyone's reactions to it, like as in the characters, but your reactions as well, but without any lasting consequences. So again, it's lasting for a short period of time, and again, back to this being a what if thing. I think our expectations, like everyone's expectations that I've seen from my comments that I've seen on Twitter, on Tumblr, on Instagram, we're all pretty much in agreement that whatever happens in this episode is going to get rewound by Bunnix or Viperion. I'm pretty sure Luca is going to have a role in this episode bigger than just in that Mulok Akuma attack, but I'm not sure what exactly. I mean, he can't time travel back as far, and it's not clear if he was around at that part for the movie theatre, so I'm not sure. And oh, speaking of the finale, when I mentioned Marinette before, we all know Adrian confronts his dad about how like controlling his dad is over him, and that synopsis we have from the finale seems very far removed from this trailer we have. Why would Adrian just confront his dad about controlling his life in the finale if he knew his mum was having the longest nap on record down in the basement, unless he forgot about it? That finale synopsis doesn't really add up if he remembers about his mum. I think for definite Adrian is going to forget all of this, so will Gabriel, so will pretty much everyone else apart from Marinette and Alex or Luca if they're involved in this somehow, although I'm not 100% sure how they will be. Alex I think is more definite than Luca, just my opinion, but yeah, I think we're all pretty much resigned to the fact that this will get rewound. But just because it gets rewound and won't technically happen anymore doesn't mean this will not be traumatizing. Look, besties, I am terrified of this episode. Like, if you didn't think I was ready for Optigami, like, if you didn't think I was ready for Optigami, then you haven't seen anything yet. I am. Oh my god, I'm not ready. Like, I started watching Miraculous when I was 21, around the time Despair Bear came out, so I haven't like been part of like the fandom or whatever since the very beginning, since when the show started, and I am 25 now, so I have been waiting for the reveal for 4 years, and I'm not ready for it. Like, no. Like, when my book was going to be published, I have wanted to be a published author since I was 4 years old. It didn't happen until I was 22. I worked so hard for it. I was so excited. And then the day before my book came out, I was sat in my room in here and I was just like, I feel ill. I wasn't ready. I think that's just like a commentary on me. I'm just, because of my anxiety, I'm never ready for anything. But I had pretty much all my life leading up to my book came out. I'd had my entire life to prepare for it and I wasn't ready. So I've had 4 years to prepare for this and I'm not ready. Even though I want it to happen, I so badly want them to know. But I'm not ready to see it happen. Oh, This episode is terrifying me. I didn't even know the word ephemeral existed until 2 weeks ago. I'm still having great difficulty spelling it. The other day I uploaded a video about it, and for the first 5,000 views the word was spelled incorrectly, and it still did really well because I don't think anyone knows how to spell it properly. I'm really struggling. It is the most cursed word in the English language. I'm putting it out there. Worst word ever. I'm gonna cry. So in conclusion, I hope Adrian's okay. Hope Marinette's okay. Hope you're okay. Hope I'm gonna be okay. Because I will not be. I think whatever happens won't have any lasting consequences on Gabriel or Adrian's memory, but will for Marinette, which will give her more trauma, which is going to be great, but hopefully she can talk it out with Alia and maybe Luca and maybe Alex as well. I'm gonna have nightmares the rest of my life about a children's TV show. So Ephemeral will air on the 7th of November. My funeral will be held on the 8th of November. There is no way I will ever be okay again after this episode airs. Even though I'm pretty sure the whole thing is going to be rewound and won't have any lasting consequences, because if Gabriel finds out who she is and she doesn't rewind time, she's failed, she can't be the Guardian anymore. There's no way Bunnix or whoever's using Rabbit Miraculous isn't having some sort of role in this episode. Like, I know we haven't seen them in the trailer, but like, there's just no way, because it means she's failed, means she can't be Ladybug, means she can't be the Guardian, and according to the finale synopsis, we know she still is by that point. So yeah, I'd love to know what you think. Who do you think Ephemeral is? Because I have no idea. Do you think it's Adrian? And if you don't think it's Adrian, what do you think happened to him? And how likely do you think rewinding time is? I think it's literally like a 95% likelihood. I would bet money on this. This is how certain I am. I would bet money on this it's gonna rewind. But yeah, I'm feeling better now I've got that all out there. I just feel like crying all the time. Anyway, I'd love to know what you think, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!